Return of the Jedi came out on May 25th, 1983, and it completes the original Star Wars series. I was 9 years old at the time, and I loved it. For its 40th anniversary, and yes, you are that old, it came out again in theaters, and I got to see it. We're going to be talking about it today on this nostalgic review. However, before we get to that nostalgic review, please don't forget to like this program, subscribe, share it on your favorite social media. If you like all things growing up Gen X, everything from movies to television to music to culture, well, you're in the right spot. We talk about all those things here at Retro Serial. And if you want to support the channel further, please don't forget to follow the links below to the Patreon page or the Venmo page where you can donate to see this channel grow if you are so willing to do that. But with all that said, let's go ahead and talk about this nostalgic review of seeing Return of the Jedi again in theaters 40 years later. I want to break this review down to 3 parts. First of all, I want to talk about what I liked, then I want to talk about what I didn't like, and then I want to give some final thoughts. So let's start out with the good stuff, what I liked. Well, it was a lot of fun to go to the theater again and see Return of the Jedi. I mean, I had a blast. It really was a great time. I have to remember that this isn't the only time I've seen Return of the Jedi since it's come out in its original release. There was a release of it in the early 2000s when they did all the CGI updates. I saw it then, but it was fun to go again, and I have to say that the nostalgic factor was running high and coursing through my blood. You know, when you saw the ship come over, the Imperial ship come over, and you saw Darth Vader landing on the Death Star, and the whole movie seemed to just bring back a lot of very good nostalgic memories. And so I really enjoyed it. And for the most part, I enjoyed the movie as a whole. So it was a lot of fun to see the show again and to see it in theaters again. And again, it wasn't the first time it's been in theaters. It was released in I think it was 2004 or something like that. But it's been a long time. I mean, it's still been a really long time since you've seen it in theaters. So it was a lot of fun. That's really what I enjoyed about it, other than saying all the stuff about Star Wars that you enjoy anyway, that we all enjoy anyway. Let's talk about what I didn't enjoy about it. Even though the nostalgic factor was high for me, it didn't make up for the fact that, yes, I love Star Wars, I love the original series the best. It still didn't make up for the fact that this was the worst of the 3 films. I couldn't get over the fact that there was teddy bears who took down trained stormtroopers. Just seemed to be a little on the far-fetched side for me, which is weird because when we're all watching shows, especially science fiction shows or action shows, we all kind of have the line in the sand of what we accept as reality or what we accept as something that could happen and what we accept as something that couldn't happen. Now, what's interesting about this is that when I saw it, I mean, like I said, originally I was 9 years old, and so to see it again, didn't, I wasn't watching it as a 9-year-old kid anymore. And in fact, the whole Ewok thing has bugged me since I've been an adult. In other words, the nostalgic factor wasn't so high that it overrid the basic stupidity of the Ewoks, in my opinion. Now, I know there's a lot of really hardcore Star Wars fans out there, and you love Star Wars no matter what, and you love the Ewoks. Well, good for you. I am not a fan of the Ewoks. So even though it was really great nostalgically, I still couldn't get over the fact that it was my least favorite of the 3 movies. The story is a good story. I really love the story, but the Ewok thing I couldn't get past. And as far as a good film is concerned, it was, Jabba's palace and all that, and him seeing, Yoda again, I loved all that. It really was the Ewok thing that kind of killed it for me and made it so it wasn't as great of a show. The second thing, and this is the only thing that I'm going to talk about it, is that when they re-released it, they didn't do the original, they actually did the updated version with all the CGI extras in it. Now, I do have to say that among the Star Wars films, the original Star Wars films that received updates, these updates weren't as bad. These CGI updates weren't as bad as, say, Episode 4, A New Hope. But, I mean, I love it, and so I'll watch it anyway. But some of the things that I didn't like about the CGI update was in Jabba's palace, where they had the little musical number, I found to be quite, cringy. There was kind of one update that I could get behind to a degree, and that was the Sarlacc. They made the Sarlacc a little bit more menacing, which I always thought was a good idea, because quite honestly, in the 1983 version of it, even though I'd rather see the 1983 version of it, the Sarlacc pit's kind of a little bit non-intimidating. Yes, it's a pit. You wouldn't want to get thrown down into it, of course, but I mean, but it wasn't this, this horrible, awful kind of thing. I mean, it was awful, but they made it more menacing with the CGI, so I could kind of almost get behind that. They did, of course, update Hayden Christensen's character in it at the end, which I have mixed feelings about, quite honestly. I like it because, yes, that is the person that we've come now to know as Anakin Skywalker, and it's nice to see him. And I totally accept him as Anakin Skywalker, but at the same time, it wasn't the original, but I don't hate it as much as I hate the little scene number in Jabba's palace. So that's kind of what I didn't like about it. Now, overall, would I recommend you go seeing this? 100%. I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan and this is like the least egregious stuff of the whole Star Wars franchise, it was a fun night out. I enjoyed it very much. It was a lot of fun to see it again in theaters, and it's fun to go to the movies and spend time with people that you really enjoy spending time with. So, I mean, yeah, go to the movie, go see it, go check it out. I totally recommend you checking it out. All right, I think I've said that like 3 times now, so I think you get the picture. Well, that's my nostalgic review of Return of the Jedi and its 2023 release. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this on your favorite social media. I want to thank you for watching this. And if you want to support the channel financially, click the links below to either the Patreon page or the Venmo page. I'm Ian C. You've been watching Retro Serial. We'll see you real soon on another episode.